setting some boundaries. All right, here's your first problem here. I want you to tell me the midpoint of this, please.
Okay. One.
If you gave me an answer just now, I didn't hear you what you said.
No, I'm just thinking.
Okay.
I think I might be overthinking it.
You're adding up the x values and dividing by 2, adding
Yeah,
up the y values, and
-7 and 2. Right?
that works. All right. I mean, it's really not that difficult. Like that's
Yeah, I was
if
overthinking it. I don't know how.
if you could, you'd like all the problems you midpoint from it. It's really not that hard. You just put them in there. Now this the distance term is like a little bit more of an issue here because you could have some sign errors.
Wait, so this is distance?
Yeah, I'd like you to calculate the distance between these 2 points.
Okay. The square root of 61.
That is correct. Very good. I'm gonna have you do one more distance formula problem just because they tend to be more emphasized. And then we'll move on to something else. So there's your next problem to work on.
I got square root of 41.
You are correct. Okay, so I feel like you know that, and those are the kind of the easier things to on that list there for us to work on. So any other questions before we move on to some other stuff?
No,
Okay. So you talked about graphing. Um, if I asked you to graph or what this graph looks like, y equals the absolute value of x, could you use a letter to describe the graph?
letter.
Yeah, a letter. Sounds weird, but there is a letter that describes it.
Uh, three.
You're like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's fine. It's um all right, let me grab a snip here. Okay, so here's the graph. Have you seen this before?
yeah, I have.
Okay. So a lot of people say it's looked like a V, it's a V shape. Is that does that all look familiar? Do you agree that's kind of a V?
That makes sense.
Okay. So this is the of what's called the vertex form of the absolute value function. So if I gave you something like this, like 2 absolute value x minus 3 minus 5, could you tell me the value of h and k? Any give me some feedback here. I'm trying not to make this too difficult. Can you tell me what h and k is?
Uh, could H be like so far? It's like testing. Could H be 3 and X be 2?
K. Hey, that's number over here. What's the number on the outside?
-5.
-5. Okay. So this means, and this is correct, this means the graph is the vertex is right 3 and down 5.
Right? Yeah.
So inside the absolute value here is left or right. Over here to the right is up or down.
Down.
Well, in this case, it's down. It depends on the problem.
Hmm.
Is that okay? So here's another one. Let's say it's y equals 1/3 absolute value x plus 1 plus 2. Can you give me the value of h and k in this one?
Wait, so what?
All
Oh,
right, so
okay, never mind.
I'm asking for the same thing here. I'm gonna just copy it down. Um, it's a lot easier when you have this in front of you. So what I'm trying to get you to see here is that H is the number inside here, but it's the opposite in sign. H is -1 in this problem. K is the other number, the number over here to the right.
So I'm solving for.
You're not solving, we're just identifying numbers. We're just looking at the equation and identifying the numbers.
Oh,
So the
A.
first number tells you left or right. So is this left or right one?
So in this case, you just look at the outside number, the inside number.
Yeah, well, this other number, 1/3, that's for something else. We're just looking at H is, this comes from H, this is K.
Okay.
So how much left or right is it if it's -1?
Uh, to the left, like one left. Yeah.
One left or left one, and then is the two up or down?
Up.
Up two. Okay, so is it clear what I'm trying to get you to do here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Like
try another one here.
one
Do you have
question
this?
though.
Yeah, of course.
How did the positive one become -1? That's kind of.
So I mean, look at inside, look at the given, form here. It's X minus H. So most students just remember it as the opposite sign of what's inside here. It's not the best way to do it, but that's how most people remember it.
So whatever's in the absolute value it just becomes the opposite, right?
That's right. And then K is the number in there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So do you have this written down, this sort of standard form?
It's standard form.
Or this is vertex form, but do you have this written down for absolute value?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I'm gonna give you a couple more here. All right, so I want H and K, please.
Would it be 2 and 2?
Yes. So is it up, down, left, right? How many?
Um, right 2, up 2,
That is correct.
right?
Okay. That's a good start here for graphing. So the next thing we'll talk about is the number in front. Actually, let me go to Desmos. I almost always do this type of lesson in Desmos, so I might as well do that here. All right, so I'm gonna new share a graphing window. So there's our parent function. Let me actually change it up here. I don't like, we'll use the vertical bars. Okay, so we've talked about this at length. Like if it's x minus 2, you see how that moves it to the right too? We just saw that in
Yeah,
this problem. And if it's +3, that's moved to the left 3.
yeah.
And then if we go like -4, that's down 4. It's down 4. And if we go +1, it's moved up 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now what do you think a negative does when it's put in front of the absolute value?
Doesn't it go down?
Let's take a look. It opens down. So it can still have all this other stuff, right? Like it could, for example, be right 1, sorry, left 1. It could be up 3 and open down. All right. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. So let me, you mentioned domain, natural domain. We'll get to that. So the other things here, let me clear this out here. All right. What do you think putting a number in front of the absolute value does? Like 2.
Is it like multiply or divide by the absolute value? Maybe.
Look at the graph though. Like give me a
Oh,
visual.
does it double it? Like doubles
Well,
the.
they use words like vertical stretch. Have you heard that before?
Oh, vertical
No,
stretch.
no,
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 yeah.
okay. That's fine. Like I'm just gauging what you've heard and not heard. Um, because the other way to graph these is to make a table. Is that what you guys were doing?
Yeah, I don't think we're making able.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go back to the other screen here. So if we go back to what I was talking about here. So H is left and right. Okay. If A is less than 0, that means it's a reflection over the x-axis. Okay.
Okay.
But the value of A itself tells you whether it's a stretch or what's called a compress. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's easier if I just give you some examples here and then we go through it. Negative 1/3, absolute value x plus 2 minus 4. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4 transformations. Can you tell me what the x plus 2 does? Does it move it left or right?
It moves it left
How many?
to
Okay. Now, its negative is a reflection over the x-axis. And it's important that you say x-axis. This 1/3 here, since this 1/3 is between 0 and 1, it's considered a vertical uh, compression. And then a lot of students just write by 1/3. That's fine. And then the last one here is this minus 4. Is that up or down? Didn't hear it if you said it.
go down.
Down. Yeah, sorry. There's just a little bit of interference there. Okay, very good. Now, any questions on this before we look at another example?
No.
Okay. Y equals 3, absolute value x plus 5 minus 2. This is 1, 2, 3 transformations. Can you tell me what x plus 5
Negative.
does?
But I mean 5 left.
5 left or left 5? Very good. Now the order does matter. So if you said 2 down, well, yeah, it is down 2, but that's the third one. This 3 is the second one. It's a vertical stretch. And the reason it's a stretch is because the number is bigger than 3. So vertical stretch by 3. Now, if I were to put a negative in front,
What do you mean by which number is bigger than 3? 3?
well, since this number is bigger than 1, it's a stretch.
Oh,
But if I put a negative in front, the negative is its own thing. The negative is a reflection over the x-axis.
that makes sense.
Okay. So I'm going to give you some problems here, and you're going to tell me the transformations. Okay, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 transformations. I'll take any of them in any order. You don't have to give them to me in order, but I'll take any of them.
Um, it's one right.
Okay, so right one, take that.
Is it reflection over y-axis?
Yep, x-axis.
Yeah, x. Sorry.
Very important. That will come in a later part of the course. Okay.
Then like a vertical compression or just compression.
It's a stretch because it's greater than 1. Because this number is greater than 1, it's a stretch. vertical stretch.
But is it negative though?
So the negative is not part of it. The negative is kind of off to the side.
Wait, then how was -3 a stretch estimate?
Because it's the number without the sign.
Oh,
Okay. Um, stretch by 1.5. What else?
oh, uh, two, two up.
Up to. Very good. All right. Do you have this down in your notes? Because I'm gonna give you another one to try. Frank, do you have this down in your notes?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Very good. All right. So here's another one. Y equals minus 0.75 absolute value X minus 2 plus 1. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4 transformations.
One, two up.
Nope. I heard 2 up.
Two up. Zero.
Let's check my
Oh,
internet here.
okay, up. Okay, two left. I mean, right,
Yeah. Yep. Which way? Left or right?
right.
Right 2.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Then we got I think reflection over X, and then vertical compression, and then one up.
Okay. So I heard up 1. I heard reflection over the x-axis. All right. 0.75. Is that a stretch or a compress?
Press.
Compress. So it's a vertical compress by 0.75. Okay. So one of the things that really helps here is that I'm giving you the number of transformations. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to ask you to write out transformations and then give them to me at the end. Any questions?
Uh, no.
All right. So here is one for you to try. All right.
So would it just be nothing?
There are some transformations here. I've
Yeah,
intentionally chosen something a little different just to see where your understanding is. It's okay if you don't fully get it, but
yeah,
I'm gonna
like
just,
in the absolute values and nothing.
that's right. So I'm gonna step away for 30 seconds so you can take a little more time to work on this. I'll be right back with you.
Okay.
I am back. Let me know if you have any of the transformations.
Uh, three, three up.
Okay, up 3. It's
Ref,
definitely on the list. I
stretch
heard
over the y-axis.
it's a x-axis. Y-axis will be something else.
I mean like the stretch over. No, not sorry. Stretch over -5.
So you have to say vertical stretch
Vertical stretch. Sorry.
by factor of 5. Okay, we're going to switch to some multiple choice questions here.
Okay.
Okay. So this looks more difficult than it actually is. I'm going to get rid of option C. That's actually not useful. So opens up looks like this, opens down looks like this.
Those are positives.
Yes, A is positive. All right. So keep that in mind as you answer this question.
Wait. Wait, would it be D? Oh,
You said D like dog.
D like dog.
It is not D. Remember, you actually just answered that in the previous problem.
Is
Kind of.
opens up
I
and
mean,
down in correlation to the
it has to do with the value of A. Positive opens up, negative opens down. Which of these has a negative A? A is the number in front of the absolute value.
so, C.
If you said a letter, I didn't quite catch it. Could you type that in the chat? Just not hearing you. Yes, it is C.
Okay.
All right, a couple more of these, and then we'll switch to quadratic, which are really, really similar.
Is it right? Is it right?
It is right. Yeah, very good. All right, one more question. I actually found another one I like here. So this is the transformations like left, right, up, down. That will tell you the coordinates of the vertex.
Oh, 5 right, 2 down.
Okay, so give me that as an ordered pair.
Uh, +5, -2.
Good. All right, one more here, and then we'll switch to quadratics.
Mhm. 0, -3.
You got it. Very good. Okay. So here is the vertex form of a quadratic. And it should look really familiar to you. Let me give you the vertex form of absolute value. Does it look similar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really similar. So guess what? It's the same thing. H and K are, the vertex. They tell you whether it moves right or left. So let's do a couple of problems here. Basically,
Wait,
it's
so
the
how would
same
that
thing.
exponent play into it? Just
It means it's U-shaped instead of V-shaped. So it
okay.
looks more like a U. This one's V-shaped, but it has that, it can go down, just like this could go down.
Okay.
All right. So here we go.
The A.
Nope.
Mhm.
Horizontal shift is like left or right.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
left or
oh,
right.
oh, did you mean letter A? Sorry.
Yeah, letter A.
Yeah, sorry. When I heard the A, I was like, oh no. Okay. Got it. Let's try next question here.
Would it would it be the K?
Yes. All right, here's another one. So we actually covered two topics by doing the absolute value because you get all the quadratic stuff with it. All right, here's this one.
The D? D
I,
as a dog. Yeah.
yes, got it. All right, so vertex, same thing. Same thing as the absolute values.
Okay, so A,
You're
right?
correct.
A.
Really good. Really, really good. Okay. Now, a little bit more information. If it opens up, so let's say it's an absolute value or quadratic and it opens up, these both have a minimum. If it opens down, these have a maximum. That might be worth putting down in your notes. By now, you probably know that I tend to give problems right after with something that I just told you.
Yeah.
And the idea really is because you need it for the next problem or two. And only fair to give you that information. This is not a reverse classroom. This is a learn as you go classroom. All right. Go ahead and take a look at that one and see if you can give me the answer.
No. A C.
You got it. All right. Okay. So here is, and it doesn't matter whether we choose an absolute value or or quadratic function. They're all going to have this information. Okay. So let's go through this one together, and then I'll have you do one. Okay. So give me the vertex, which is H and K, basically. Start with that.
-8, 11.
Sorry, I just didn't hear you.
8, 11.
Maybe this.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's -8 comma 11. Okay. What's the number in front that's not written?
Negative.
If it were negative, it would be written. What's the number?
Oh, that would be like the vertical.
So it's one. There's a one there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So
So
it
that's the A
opens.
value. So the A value is one. Does it open up or down?
It opens up, right?
Up. Yeah. So if A is positive, opens up, does that have a max or a min?
Minimum.
Okay. You kind of get the feel for what I'm asking you to do here?
Yeah.
All right. Here's one for you to try. I want you to fill all of it out. I don't want you to tell me your answers until you got them all done. I would recommend starting over here like we did in the last one.
For the H value, I got negative, not negative. I got regular 4, positive 4. For the K value, I got -7. For the vertex, I got -4, comma, no, 4, comma, -7.
Good.
For A value, I got 2.
Okay.
I got a minimum and I got up.
All right. Excellent. Let me see what else I can find here. Now, we didn't do much on natural domain, mostly because I think there's more to it than what you're asking. Meaning that, like, just maybe double check with your instructor. Please ask for as much review materials as you can as well. That will help. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking to see if we can find some more problems that are different. These are not different enough. Um, all right, so here's one more. All right. Let me scroll up so you can see this.
Okay, so with it, K is -7. I mean -9. H is -1.
Oh, how much left or right is it?
It's 1.
Oh, let me rewrite it. Now what is H?
-1. Would it just be 1?
No, there's not a one inside here. What number is
It'd just
written
be
in here?
nothing, right?
Well, I mean, nothing is kind of a, gotta be careful in math. Nothing could mean a lot of things. What is the number, numerical value over in
0.
here? 0. Okay.
And then A would be 1. Or is it
It's the whole thing.
a
-1.
-1?
All right.
And then
So
it'll
does it up?
be a maximum opening down.
Okay. Very good. We'll do one more of these. Let me grab this. No, this will be our last problem for tonight. Okay. Go ahead and give that a try, please.
A is 1. No, K is 6.
K
H
is 6. H
H
is
is -1.
good.
Yeah, -1, 6. And then the A value would be -1. Yeah, -1 second. and it'll be a maximum opening down.
All right, very good. Okay, so main takeaways from today, we did midpoint, we did distance formula, and then we talked a lot about transformations of graphs. All right, so our next lesson is scheduled for Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Please again, try